Why would I delete my dating apps? We're not that serious, she said, after 2 years together. I said, you're right. Then I reactivated mine and matched with her sister. The Sunday dinner at her parents' house was unforgettable. All right, Reddit. I caught my girlfriend on dating apps, and when I confronted her, she said, why would I delete them? We're not that serious. So I just nodded and downloaded mine. What followed was a shit show you're absolutely gonna enjoy. Grab your popcorn. Here's what went down. I'm Zach, 33 male. I was sitting across from my girlfriend at this overpriced place she loves, watching her face light up from a phone notification she thinks I can't see. That little yellow Bumble icon. Clear as day. She flips the phone fast, but I saw it. I saw all of it. 2 years. Not 2 months. 2 full years of my life. We'd been living together for 14 months. Split a lease on a decent place downtown. I'd taken her to Hawaii last spring. Met her entire extended family at Christmas. Her cousin's wedding. Her grandmother's funeral where I held her while she cried. I'd been looking at engagement rings during my lunch breaks for the past month, running numbers on what I could afford without going into debt. And she's on Bumble. I cut into my chicken marsala and kept my voice casual. No accusation, no anger, just curiosity. So you're still on dating apps? She actually laughed, like I just asked if the sky was blue. Yeah, obviously. Why would I delete them? She sipped her water like we were discussing the weather. It's just window shopping. Everyone does it. Everyone. Right. I deleted my apps 2 months into dating her. Thought that was standard procedure when you tell someone you love them and move in together. Apparently, I missed the memo. We've been together 2 years, Rebecca. Living together for over a year. She rolled her eyes. Oh my God, Zach. Don't be so traditional. We're not that serious. We just split rent to save money. It's not like we're married or anything. Stop being so possessive. Not that serious. Those 3 words just hung there between the breadsticks and her nonsense. I nodded slowly, watching her, calculating. She had no idea what she'd just done. No clue she'd just handed me permission to burn everything down. You know what? You're absolutely right. That surprised her. She paused mid-bite. She'd been ready for a fight, ready to gaslight me about insecurity and trust issues. But I just agreed with her, smiled, changed the subject to some Netflix show, paid the $140 check. She went to bed early. I stayed up staring at the wall, doing the math. 2 years. 730 days. I'd paid about 70% of our bills because she was saving for her business that never materialized. I'd bought most of our furniture, paid for that Hawaii trip, covered her car insurance for 6 months when she was between jobs. I'd been building a future. She'd been keeping her options open. I pulled out my phone and started making a different kind of list. My buddy Billy was a lawyer. Decent one, too. Handled landlord-tenant stuff all the time. I sent him a text. Need to evict a girlfriend who's not on the lease. What's the process? He responded in 2 minutes. 30-day notice in writing. Don't be a jerk about it. Document everything. This sounds fun. Call me tomorrow. Then I did something. I downloaded Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. Updated my profiles with recent photos. The good ones from my buddy's bachelor party. Changed my bio to something generic about hiking and craft drinks and weekend adventures. Hit submit and went to bed. The next morning, Rebecca kissed me goodbye like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't just told me I was a placeholder. I kissed her back and watched her leave for work. The second her car pulled out, I was back on my phone. Matches were rolling in. Dozens of them. Turns out being 33, employed, and not hideously ugly has some market value. Then I saw her. Brielle. Rebecca's younger sister. 28. We'd always gotten along great at family stuff. She was funny, didn't take herself too seriously, actually laughed at my jokes instead of the polite fake laugh Rebecca had perfected. We liked the same music, same shows, same dark sense of humor. But she was Rebecca's sister, so obviously off limits. Except right there at the top of my Bumble, Brielle has super liked you. A super like isn't an accident. That's intentional. I stared at it for a solid minute, watching the clock tick past my lunch break, my cursor hovering over the match button. Forget it. Rebecca wanted to window shop? Two could play this game. I matched. The message came instantly. Zach? What are you doing on here? I typed back. Same thing your sister's doing, apparently. Keeping my options open. We're not that serious, according to her. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Then, wait, what? She told me you guys were basically engaged. So Rebecca had been telling her family we were serious while keeping me on a leash she could drop whenever something better came along. Playing both sides. News to me. Found her apps last night. She said it's totally normal. Everyone does it. I'm being possessive for caring. That's so messed up. I'm so sorry, Zach. Don't be sorry. I'm adapting to her rules. Speaking of which, this is weird. Should probably unmatch. Probably. A pause. Unless. And just like that, we were texting. For hours. She told me Rebecca had been bragging about what a great boyfriend I was, how stable I was, husband material. Meanwhile, showing Brielle her Hinge matches and joking about upgrading eventually. Brielle had thought it was just talk, that toxic nonsense girls say sometimes. Didn't realize Rebecca was serious. We talked about other stuff too. Turned out Brielle and I had way more in common than I'd realized. She'd just gotten out of a terrible relationship 6 months ago. Some finance bro who cheated on her with a coworker. We compared notes on betrayal. It was therapeutic and easy. The conversation flowed like we'd been friends for years. Then she mentioned Sunday dinner. You guys are still coming to my parents, right? This Sunday at 6? First, I was hearing of it. Of course, Rebecca hadn't told me. She hasn't mentioned it. Oh, this is going to be so good. She confirmed for both of you yesterday? Mom's making her lasagna. I could feel the grin spreading across my face. You thinking what I'm thinking? That Sunday dinner is about to get really interesting? Absolutely. This is karma, Zach. She has this coming. What's she got coming? You'll see. By the way, I'm wearing that red dress you complimented last Christmas. Game on. Wednesday and Thursday were a masterclass in acting normal while planning a tactical strike. Rebecca came home Wednesday with sushi from my favorite place, all smiles and affection. Suggested we watch a movie. Cuddled up on the couch. The whole time her phone kept buzzing with notifications she'd quickly swipe away. I counted 7 in 2 hours. Probably more matches. More window shopping while I was sitting right there. I let her have her moment. Meanwhile, I was documenting everything. Screenshots of her active dating profiles. The bio mentioned she was exploring her options and not looking for anything serious. I forwarded everything to my personal email, then to Billy. He called me Thursday during lunch. Dude, this is cold-blooded even for a cheater. She doesn't think it's cheating. Apparently it's normal. It's completely psychotic. Anyway, here's what you do. California's a pain for evictions, but since she's not on the lease, she's technically a month-to-month tenant. You need to give her 30 days written notice. I'll draft it for you. Make it official. Notarized. The whole deal. That way, when she tries to pull some "he illegally evicted me" nonsense, you're covered. Barris, what about her stuff? Anything she paid for, she can take. Anything you paid for stays. If there's a dispute, you settle it in small claims. But you need receipts, man. Do you have receipts? I had receipts. I'd been paying 70% of our bills through Venmo and Zelle for over a year. Every transaction documented. Every piece of furniture I'd bought on my credit card. The TV, the couch, the kitchen table, the mattress. All my money. I got receipts for everything. Beautiful. And Zach? Don't sleep with the sister. Dude, I wasn't even thinking. I know, just saying. I know it's tempting, but that'll mess up your case if she decides to get legal about it. He was right. But Brielle and I were texting constantly now. Nothing inappropriate, just real conversations. She told me about her job, her terrible ex, her plans to travel to Japan next year. I told her about my work, my annoying boss, the motorcycle I was saving up for. It felt natural, easy. Friday afternoon, Rebecca finally mentioned dinner. Super casual. By the way, dinner at my parents' Sunday. 6 o'clock. Wear the blue shirt. Sure thing. Looking forward to it. She seemed surprised I agreed so easily. Good. Saturday, Billy came by with the eviction notice. Official legal letterhead. Notarized. The whole 9 yards. 30 days from the date you serve this, she's out. If she refuses to leave, you file for formal eviction and she gets a sheriff's escort. But it won't come to that. These things usually don't. She's going to lose her mind. Oh, absolutely. Which is why you don't serve this until after Sunday dinner. Let her have her family moment first. Then hit her with it Monday morning. She can't say you ambushed her at her parents' house or something. I looked at the notice. It was perfect. You're a good friend, Billy. I know. You're buying drinks for the next month. Saturday night, Brielle texted me, "Ready for tomorrow's disaster?" Been ready. Are you really going to do this? She's had this coming for a long time, Zach. There's something you should know before tomorrow, though. What's that? Why Rebecca and I don't really get along. It's not just sister stuff. 3 years ago, she slept with my boyfriend. Wait, what the heck? Yup. LOL. Sorry I said it casually, but I thought you deserved to know now. She knew we were together. She did it anyway. At my apartment while I was at our grandma's funeral. I just stared at my phone. Holy crap. She told me it just happened, and I needed to get over it because Sisters before misters or some nonsense. My parents made me forgive her because family is forever, but I never forgot. And now she's doing the same thing to you. She thinks she can take whatever she wants from people and face no consequences. I'm sorry that happened to you. I never knew about this. Don't be sorry. Just don't back out tomorrow. She needs to understand that actions have consequences. I wasn't backing out. Not a chance. Sunday morning, I hit the gym, came back, showered, put on the blue shirt. Rebecca spent 2 hours getting ready. Hair, makeup, 3 outfit changes. She kept coming out asking if she looked okay. I told her she looked great. The drive over, she wouldn't shut up about work drama. Some girl in her office who was apparently gunning for her position. How unfair her boss was. How she deserved a promotion but kept getting passed over. I made sympathetic noises and drove. Let her talk. Last time I'd have to pretend to care about her nonsense job problems. We pulled up at 5:45. Brielle's car was already there. So was Tony's truck. Tony was Rebecca's older brother, 35 contractor, a guy who I'd always liked. He didn't get involved in family drama usually, but when he did, people listened. Andrea answered the door with her usual enthusiasm. Hugs, questions about work, compliments on how we looked. Rick did his two-handed handshake thing, called me son. These were genuinely good people who'd raised one broken kid out of 3 decent ones. I felt bad about what was coming. Well, not bad enough to stop it. Brielle was in the living room and holy crap. She wasn't lying about the red dress. It was elegant but dangerous. She gave me a hug that lasted just slightly too long. Zach, so good to see you. That smile promised absolute chaos. Just keeping my options open, I said quietly enough that only she heard. She had to cover her laugh with a cough. We sat down for dinner. Everything normal, pleasant. The calm before the nuclear strike. We made it through appetizers, made it through salad. Halfway through the main course, Brielle cleared her throat. So, Mom, I saw something weird on Thursday. Here we go. I kept eating, casual as anything. What's that, honey? Andrea asked. Rebecca's profile popped up on my Bumble feed. The table went silent. You could hear the clock ticking in the hallway. Rebecca forced a laugh. That's an old profile, Brielle. God, you know how those apps work. They never really delete your account. It said active today, Brielle said, pulling out her phone. And these photos are from your trip to Hawaii this year, with Zach. She held up her phone. There was Rebecca's profile, clear as day. 3 photos from our vacation. The bio. The active 2 hours ago timestamp. Rick's face went dark. Rebecca, what is this? It's nothing, Dad. I just never deleted it. It doesn't mean anything. I kept eating lasagna. This was better than I'd imagined. Andrea turned to me, concern written all over her face. Zach, did you know about this? Found out Tuesday. She explained that we're not that serious, and it's completely normal to stay on dating apps while living together. Said everyone does it. Andrea's voice went up 3 octaves. Not that serious? You've been together for 2 years. Yeah, well, I shrugged. Apparently I misunderstood the assignment. Tony was staring at Rebecca like he'd never seen her before. Rebecca, what the heck? Oh, don't you start, Rebecca snapped at him. This is none of your business. Actually, Brielle said, it kind of became my business when Zach and I matched on Thursday. The table exploded. Rebecca's face went through every color in the spectrum, red to white to purple to something I don't have a name for. What? Yeah, super weird timing, Brielle continued. But you said it's normal, so I figured it was fine. Right, Zach? I took a sip of water. Just following Rebecca's rules. She's not that serious about me. I'm not that serious about her. Everyone's window shopping. Rebecca stood up so fast her chair hit the floor. You matched with my sister? She super liked me first, actually. Seemed rude not to match back. How dare you? How dare I what? Follow your logic? You've been on 3 different apps for 2 years. I've been on them for 3 days. Seems like you're winning this game by a lot. Tony stood up, holding his hands out. Okay, everyone needs to calm down. Calm down? Rebecca's voice hit a pitch that probably shattered windows in the next county. He matched with Brielle. She's my sister. Brielle leaned back in her chair, completely unbothered. You slept with Ryan. In my apartment. While I was at Grandma's funeral. Oh man, the secret nuke. Brielle went there immediately. The table somehow got quieter. Andrea's mouth fell open. Rick's face went red. Tony said, good grief, under his breath. That was 3 years ago? Rebecca shrieked. Yeah, and I'm still waiting for a real apology, Brielle shot back. But hey, family is forever, right? That's what Mom said. So I'm sure you'll get over Zach and me the same way I got over you screwing with my boyfriend. Andrea looked like she might pass out. Brielle, Language? No, Mom. I'm done. Brielle stood up, and I realized this woman had been waiting 3 years for this moment. I've been the good daughter, the understanding sister, the one who forgives and forgets because family is forever. Well, guess what? Rebecca doesn't care about family. She takes what she wants and expects everyone to deal with it. She did it to me. She's doing it to Zach. She'll do it to the next guy. She's a user. You freaking beach! Rebecca lunged across the table at Brielle. Tony caught her midair, wrapping his arms around her from behind. Nope, we're not doing this. Rebecca was screaming, flailing, trying to get at Brielle. I'll hurt you. You've always been jealous of me. Always wanted what I have. Had, I corrected calmly. Past tense. That redirected her rage at me. She broke free from Tony and came at me instead, arms swinging. I stood up, backing away, keeping the chair between us. No way I was getting hit. Rick's voice boomed across the chaos. Rebecca! SITDOWNNOW. Everyone froze. Rick didn't yell. Never had in all the times I'd met him. But right now he was angry. That quiet, controlled rage that's scarier than any screaming. Rebecca sat, tears streaming down her face. Mascara everywhere. Zach? Rick said quietly. I'm sorry you wasted 2 years on my daughter. You deserve better. I appreciate that, Rick. Dad! Rebecca snapped. He matched with Brielle. He's the jerk here. No, Andrea said firmly. You're the jerk, Rebecca. We raised you better than this. You cheated on Brielle's boyfriend. Now you're doing this to Zach. When does it stop? I didn't cheat. Having dating apps isn't cheating. It is when you're in a committed relationship, Tony said. It is when you're living with someone and they're planning a future with you. Rebecca looked around the table for support. Found none. This is nonsense. Zach, we're leaving. Now. I took another bite of lasagna. I'm not leaving. This is really good lasagna, Andrea. Did you change the recipe? Zach! Rebecca screamed. You can call an Uber. We're not that serious, remember? Figure it out. She stood there, shaking, crying, looking between me and Brielle like she couldn't process what was happening. Finally, she grabbed her purse and stormed out. We heard her on the porch, screaming at her phone, presumably calling for a ride. The silence after the door slammed was almost funny. Nobody knew what to say. Finally, Tony spoke. Well, that happened. I'm sorry, I said to Andrea and Rick. I didn't mean to blow up family dinner. Don't apologize, Rick said. This needed to happen. She's been getting away with this stuff for too long. We finished dinner in awkward peace. Helped clean up. Tony and I ended up out back having drinks while the women talked inside. For what it's worth, Tony said, I always thought you were too good for her. And if you and Brielle are actually into each other, I say go for it. She deserves someone decent. You deserve someone who isn't a narcissist. We're just friends right now. Sure you are. He grinned. Just don't mess it up. Brielle's the good one. Monday morning, 6 a.m., I was up early, had the eviction notice in a manila envelope on the kitchen counter, made coffee, made breakfast, put on my good work clothes. Rebecca came stumbling out of the bedroom around 7, eyes swollen from crying all night. She'd come home around midnight, ignored me, locked herself in the bedroom. Fine by me. We need to talk. Sure. I slid the envelope across the counter. You have until November 18th to find a new place. It's all legal. Notarized. You're not on the lease, so you're considered a month-to-month tenant. She stared at the envelope like it might bite her. You can't evict me. I can and I am. It's my apartment. My lease. You're not on it. Zach, please, I made a mistake. No. You made about 730 daily decisions to disrespect our relationship. That's not a mistake. I poured my coffee, added cream. Anything you paid for, you can take. I'll need receipts. Everything I paid for stays. If you have questions, you can contact my lawyer. His number's in the notice. She opened the envelope with shaking hands. Her face went pale. This is insane. Over dating apps? Over lying for 2 years? You matched with Brielle. After you told me we weren't serious? After you laughed in my face for caring? I was just following your rules, Rebecca. Don't get mad when someone plays your game better than you. She tried a different approach. Tears. Got closer, put her hand on my arm. Baby, please. I'll delete everything right now. See? She pulled out her phone, started deleting apps. Gone. All gone. Can we please just... Too late. The tears turned to rage fast. She threw her phone at the wall. It bounced, landed on the couch. Didn't break. Shame. You're such a jerk. Possibly. I grabbed my work bag. I'll be at work. Don't touch any of my stuff. And get your own food. We're not splitting groceries anymore. I left her standing there screaming. Work was normal. Boring meetings, emails, conference calls. I kept my phone on silent. By lunch, Rebecca had called me 17 times, left 8 voicemails ranging from apologetic to threatening. My favorite, "You'll regret this when you die alone and nobody loves you." Brielle texted around noon. "How'd it go?" Served the eviction notice. She took it well. Well, you mean she lost her mind? Threw her phone at the wall. Called me a jerk. The usual. Want to grab dinner tonight? Might be good to get out of the apartment. Billy's warning echoed in my head. Don't sleep with the sister until this is done. But dinner wasn't sleeping together. Dinner was just food. Yeah, that sounds good. We met at this Thai place downtown. Nothing fancy. Noodles and conversation. But it felt right. Easy. She asked about my day. Actually listened to my answers. Told me about her work drama. We laughed. Made jokes. For 2 hours, I forgot about the disaster waiting for me at home. So what's the plan? She asked. For the next 30 days? Survive. Don't let her manipulate me. Don't let her take anything that's mine. Maybe hide the good coffee. She smiled. I'm sorry my sister's putting you through this. Your sister showed me exactly who she is. I'm just finally believing her. The next 4 weeks were psychological warfare. Rebecca tried everything. Crying at 2 a.m. Accidentally walking around in her underwear. Cooking my favorite meals. Love notes on the bathroom mirror. When that didn't work, she switched to rage. Blasting music at all hours. Leaving messes everywhere. Bringing random people home and being loud just to annoy me. I didn't react. Just documented everything. Took photos. Recorded noise levels. Sent daily updates to Billy. Built my case in case she tried to pull some illegal eviction nonsense. Meanwhile, Brielle and I were talking every day. Texting. Phone calls. Dinner twice a week. Just giving usual updates. 3 weeks in, Rebecca tried a new tactic. She invited her friends over. Made a big show of crying about how I was kicking her out for no reason. How abusive and controlling I was. I stayed in my room, door locked, headphones on. Let her spin whatever story she wanted. Didn't matter. She'd be gone in a week. Then Thursday happened. Day 27 of 30. I came home from work to find Rebecca sitting on the couch, phone in hand, face pale. She looked up when I walked in. Something was different. Something was wrong. We need to talk. We don't need to do anything. You have 3 days to be out. Zach, I'm pregnant. Imagine her dropping this bomb with the echo fart sound effect. Because that's exactly how it sounded. I just stared at her. Pregnant. After months of religious birth control use because she was paranoid about getting pregnant and ruining her body. After countless conversations about how she definitely didn't want kids anytime soon. Congratulations. Hope the father's excited. Her face crumpled. You're the father. I laughed out loud. Couldn't help it. No, I'm really not. Zach, we've been together 2 years. And I've been wearing protection the entire time because you're on birth control and paranoid. Your rule, not mine. So unless that baby's the second coming, it's not mine. She started crying. Big, heaving sobs. The kind that might have worked on me 6 months ago. I made a mistake. One time. I was drunk. It didn't mean anything. When? August. That weekend you went to your buddy's bachelor party in Austin. August. 3 months ago. Right around the time I'd been looking at rings. While I was in Texas celebrating my friend's upcoming marriage, she was home sleeping with someone else. The math was mathing. Does he know? No, I don't even have his number. It was some guy from a bar. I set my bag down, walked to the kitchen, grabbed a drink. Rebecca, I need you to understand something very clearly. That's not my kid. I want a paternity test to prove it's not my kid. Zach, please. No. You cheated. You got pregnant. Those are your consequences, not mine. You still have 3 days to get out. I have nowhere to go. That's not my problem. She collapsed on the couch, full breakdown mode. I walked past her to my bedroom, locked the door, called Billy. Dang, is it yours? No. We used protection every time. Her rule. She admitted she slept with someone else in August. Okay, here's what you do. Don't acknowledge paternity verbally or in writing. If she puts your name on the birth certificate, dispute it immediately. Request a paternity test. If you can prove you're not the father, you're clear. She's trying to use this to stay here. Doesn't matter. Eviction notice stands. Pregnancy doesn't change tenant law. She's still got 3 days. I texted Brielle. You're not going to believe this. She called immediately. I told her everything. Holy cow, Zach. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm just completely done with all of this. Good. Stay done. Don't let her trap you with this. The next morning, Friday, day 28, Rebecca was gone when I woke up. Her car was still in the lot, but she wasn't in the apartment. I figured she went to her parents. Fine by me. I started packing up her remaining stuff. Everything that was clearly hers went into boxes. Clothes, shoes, that ridiculous collection of scented candles. Her yoga mat she'd used twice. Packed it all neatly, labeled the boxes, put them by the door. She came back around noon with Andrea. Her mom looked exhausted. She gave me a sad smile. Zach, I'm so sorry about all of this. Not your fault, Andrea. Can we talk? Just for a minute? We sat at the kitchen table while Rebecca stayed in the bedroom, presumably packing. Andrea folded her hands, took a breath. She told me about the pregnancy. It's not mine. I know. She told me the truth about everything. Andrea looked like she'd aged 10 years overnight. I don't know where I went wrong with her. You didn't do anything wrong. Some people are just takers, Andrea. I want you to know that Rick and I support whatever you need to do. You've been good to our family. You didn't deserve any of this. I appreciate that. Rebecca emerged with 2 suitcases, face puffy from crying, refused to look at me. Andrea helped her carry stuff to the car. 3 trips. When they were done, Andrea hugged me goodbye. They left. The apartment was quiet, peaceful. I grabbed a soda even though it was noon on a Friday. Felt like I'd earned it. Brielle texted, "She's at my parents' house. Mom says she's moving in with them temporarily." Good. That's not my problem anymore. Want to come over tonight? I'll order pizza. Yeah, I'll be there. Saturday afternoon, I was at Brielle's apartment, just hanging out, watching some documentary about ocean life. We were sitting on the couch. Then someone started pounding on the door. Brielle looked at me. I looked at her. We both knew. She opened the door and Rebecca burst in like a hurricane, hair wild, no makeup, wearing pajama pants and a ratty t-shirt. She looked at me, looked at Brielle, and absolutely lost it. I knew it! I knew you two were together. We're watching a documentary about octopuses, I said calmly. Not exactly a romantic date. You're at her apartment. You're supposed to be heartbroken. You're supposed to be sorry. Sorry for what? Following your rules? She turned on Brielle. You beach. You've always been jealous of me. Always wanted my life, my boyfriends, everything. Brielle stood up. No, I don't want your life, Rebecca. Your life is a disaster. You're pregnant by some random bar hookup. You got evicted. You have no job. You're living with mom and dad at 29. Why would I be jealous of that? Rebecca lunged at Brielle. Not a slap. A full-body tackle. They went down hard, hitting the coffee table. Jesus Christ, I muttered. Glass shattered. They were rolling on the floor, grabbing hair, screaming. I jumped up to separate them, but they were tangled, a mess of flailing limbs and rage. Brielle got on top, pinned Rebecca down. You slept with Ryan in my apartment. While I was saying goodbye to Grandma, you have never once shown actual remorse. You just expect everyone to forgive you because you're Rebecca and the world revolves around you. He didn't love you anyway. He told me you were boring. Brielle slapped her. Hard. The sound echoed in the apartment. Get out! You hit me! I'm calling the cops. Please do, I said, pulling out my phone. I recorded the whole thing. You broke into her apartment. You physically attacked her first. She defended herself. I'm a witness. Try it. Rebecca looked at my phone. At Brielle. At me. Something in her broke. She started crying. Real, broken crying. I'm pregnant and I have nowhere to go and no one wants me and my whole life is falling apart. Yeah, Brielle said, standing up, brushing glass off her jeans. Consequences suck, don't they? Rebecca got up slowly, grabbed her purse. She left. Brielle and I stood there in silence, looking at the broken coffee table, the scattered papers, the chaos. Sorry about your table, she shrugged. It was from IKEA. I hated it anyway. We started laughing, cleaned up the glass, ordered pizza, and spent the rest of the night just talking about what we wanted, what we'd learned from terrible relationships, what we weren't willing to tolerate anymore. Around midnight, she walked me to the door. We stood there. I should go, I said. Probably. This is complicated. Very. Your sister's going to lose her mind. My sister lost her mind years ago. We're just now noticing. I kissed her on the cheek. Then I left before I could complicate things more. Drove home with the windows down, music loud, feeling lighter than I had in 2 years. Monday morning, Billy called. Your ex filed a restraining order request against you. Are you serious? For what? Harassment. Says you're threatening her about the baby. Trying to make you look bad. I have documentation for everything. Good. We're going to court Wednesday. The judge will hear both sides. Bring everything. And Zach? Don't contact her at all. Let her dig her own grave. Wednesday came. Small courtroom. Judge who looked tired before we even started. Rebecca showed up with some public defender. I had Billy and a folder full of receipts, texts, photos, and recordings. Rebecca's lawyer went first. Painted me as an abusive boyfriend who kicked her out when she got pregnant. Then Billy stood up. Your Honor, I'd like to submit several pieces of evidence. First, the legal eviction notice served to Ms. Whitmore 30 days before she was required to leave. Second, text messages where Ms. Whitmore admits to cheating in August. Third, a recording from Saturday where she broke into my client's friend's apartment and physically attacked her. He played the recording. You could hear everything. Rebecca breaking in. The tackle. Brielle defending herself. The judge's expression went from bored to annoyed. Ms. Whitmore, did you break into an apartment that wasn't yours and attack someone? Rebecca's lawyer whispered something to her. She nodded reluctantly. Yes, but... No buts. Restraining order denied. Mr. Lopez, would you like to file a counter-restraining order? Billy looked at me. I shook my head. No, Your Honor. I just want her out of my life completely. Granted. Ms. Whitmore, stay away from Mr. Lopez, his residence, and his associates. Any further contact will result in criminal charges. We're done here. We walked out. Rebecca looked destroyed. Her lawyer looked annoyed at wasting his time. I felt nothing. No victory, no satisfaction, just relief that it was over. Billy clapped me on the shoulder. That's how you handle crazy, my friend. Now go live your life. 6 weeks later, December, holiday season. Everything had settled into a new normal. Rebecca's life had imploded spectacularly, and I hadn't done a thing. Didn't need to. Karma handled it beautifully. She'd tried to stay at her parents' place, but they set boundaries. Get a job, get therapy, take responsibility. She lasted 2 weeks before moving in with some friend. That lasted a month before the friend kicked her out for not paying rent. Last I heard from Tony, she was couch surfing, about 4 months pregnant. Still convinced everyone else was the problem. The pregnancy thing had blown up in her face, too. She'd tried to trap the actual father, some finance bro she met on Hinge. He wanted a paternity test. It was his kid. He offered child support payments and nothing else. But the real kicker? The best revenge I didn't even have to plan? Her company fired her. Not because of me. Because she'd been using the work computer to manage her dating profiles, including messaging guys during work hours. IT flagged it during a routine security check. HR found explicit messages, personal photos stored on company servers, hours of lost productivity. They fired her for cause, no severance, no unemployment benefits, just gone. She tried to spin it on social media, posted about toxic work culture and being persecuted for being a woman. Someone from her office replied with screenshots of her messages, including one where she'd offered to meet a match in the office supply closet during lunch. Her professional reputation was toast. LinkedIn connections started dropping her. References went silent. She couldn't get interviews. Meanwhile, I finally bought that motorcycle I'd been saving for. Moved to a bigger apartment in a better part of town. Started actually enjoying my life instead of managing someone else's chaos. Brielle and I had been officially dating for 6 weeks. Taking it slow. No moving in together. No rushing. Just two people who'd learned hard lessons actually doing things right. We had dinner with her parents every other Sunday. Andrea's lasagna. Rick's poker lessons. Tony's fantasy football trash talk. The family had completely cut Rebecca off socially. They still helped with the basics. But the family dinners, the holidays, the casual drop-ins, done. She'd broken their trust too many times. Christmas Eve, we were all at Andrea and Rick's place. Tree up, lots of food and laughter. Brielle and I were helping set the table when the doorbell rang. Rick answered. It was Rebecca, standing there in maternity clothes, about 4.5 months pregnant, looking defeated. Can I come in? It's Christmas. Rick didn't budge. You're not welcome here until you get real help. Therapy. Not talk therapy. Real intensive treatment for whatever's broken in you. Dad, I'm pregnant and alone. By your own choices, Rebecca. We've tried helping. We've tried supporting. We've tried enabling. We're done. You need to hit bottom and actually want to change. Until then, we have nothing to say to each other. He handed her an envelope. There's money in there. For you and the baby. For necessities. But this is the last time. Either get help or don't. But we're not watching you destroy yourself and everyone around you anymore. He closed the door. Rebecca stood there for a minute, then left. Andrea was crying quietly in the kitchen. Brielle went to comfort her. Tony and I stayed quiet. Tough love, Rick said, looking at the closed door. Should have done it years ago. The rest of the evening was subdued but good. We had dinner, exchanged gifts. We drove home separately, still maintaining that boundary of separate places, but ended up at my apartment. Sat on the couch with hot chocolate and bad Christmas movies. You think she'll actually get help? Brielle asked. Honestly? Number. Some people don't want to change. She leaned against me. For what it's worth, I'm glad she ruined your relationship. I know that's terrible to say, but nah, I'm glad too. I would have married her. Instead, you got me. Yes, which is a significant upgrade. She smiled. We sat there, warm apartment, snow starting to fall outside, everything settled and peaceful. My phone buzzed. Text from Billy. Saw Rebecca tried to crash Christmas. Your ex is relentless. I typed back, not my problem anymore. Living that consequence-free life. Living well is the best revenge, my friend. He wasn't wrong. I looked around my apartment. New furniture I'd picked out myself. Motorcycle keys on the counter. Brielle beside me. Plans for New Year's that didn't involve managing someone else's drama. Peace. Rebecca was somewhere dealing with the consequences of 2 years of selfish choices. And honestly, that felt better than any revenge I could have planned. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.